They're still there.
Hours after the raid, Kirath scanned the horizon and saw a plume of red dust that refused to fade.
No species on 17 worlds outruns a Vissi. These humans are already beaten. They just don't know it yet.
But his confidence slipped when Jakar crouched beside him, staring through a long lens.
They aren't chasing us, Kirath. They're walking. Walking. Why would they walk?
Kirath snatched the scope. The human shapes moved with the unhurried rhythm of a death march.
No sprint, no rush, just steady, like they have all the time in the universe.
Then he noticed the gap hadn't widened. In fact, it seemed a little smaller.
We push harder, full sprint until dusk. I want a horizon empty of dust.
They ran flat out as the sun sank, burning the last reserves. But when Kirath risked a backward glance, the dust was still there. Closer, if that was possible. Darkness fell like a hammer. Exhaustion collapsed them into a sandy hollow.
No lights, no heat. We rest here till first light. Nothing alive can track across desert in darkness.
Jakar ignored him, staring into the blackness through a night vision scope. His breath stopped.
They're coming, Kirath. 5 heat signatures. Walking. They're still coming.
Kirath grabbed the scope. Faint but clear, 5 human outlines, striding steady. No torches, no lights, just shapes in the dark.
We left no trail, and yet they come straight as a laser.
We have to move. Now. Every second we rest, they gain.
Kirath didn't argue. He yanked his pack on and hauled Jakar to his feet.
Don't stop. Don't look back. I want them gone by dawn.
The Vissi fled into the dark, pounding sand under the cold stars. Behind them, the steady figures never faltered. The gap did not grow. Dawn bled across the sand, revealing an unbroken line of human boot prints just minutes behind their own trail.
They didn't stop. Not once. Jakar, get close. Real close. I need to see what keeps them standing.
Jakar worked his way back along a low ridge, keeping flat until he could see their faces. What he found made his stomach drop. Human features painted into a grinning skull. The eyes above it empty and patient.
Kirath, their faces, they wear death on their jaws and no exhaustion, no thirst, just walking. One of them looked straight at me. Kirath didn't even raise his weapon, just saw me and kept walking.
No species paints itself like a corpse unless it has already made peace with dying. What are we running from?
Far behind, Thorn checked his rifle's action without breaking stride, a gesture of absolute patience.
This isn't a pursuit. This is a ceremony, and we're the sacrifice. We move, now.
They ran into the rising heat, but for the first time, every stride felt like a step into a closing grave. Ahead, the flat desert broke into a maze of red rock canyons. Kirath saw a chance to vanish.
Down there, lose them in the cracks. They can't track what they can't see. Go.
They half slid down a scree slope, rocks clattering, desperate to put stone between themselves and the open sky. Deep in a crevice, pressed against cool rock, they waited. For an hour, nothing. Then 2. The silence thickened.
Maybe we actually lost them. The wall messes with thermals, scatters scent. It could work.
He wants it to be true. So do I. But that's not a strategy.
Then a shadow cut the light at the crevice entrance. Kirath looked up into the blank, skull-painted face of a human staring down. The human didn't speak, didn't raise a weapon, didn't even blink, just watched, as if marking a spot that was already known.
Move, up the other side. Now, now, now!
They burst from the canyon into the blinding sun, no longer caring about stealth. Hiding was a lie. The only choice left was to run.
Full sprint. Don't pace, don't breathe, just burn. If we can't lose them, we'll grind them into the horizon.
They hurled themselves forward until their lungs screamed. Kirath's legs turned to fire, each footfall a blow. Jakar fell to his knees and retched, heaving nothing but bile onto the sand.
Check again, please. Just tell me the dust is farther.
Kirith raised his scope with a trembling hand. The human silhouettes filled the lens. Same distance, same patient rhythm.
Not a single meter gained. We're not escaping, we're just dying faster.
He doesn't need to say it. I can see it in the way his hands shake.
The sun climbed. Their water pouches grew light. Kirith's calves began to knot and cramp.
Keep moving. If we stop now, the cramp locks us for good. Walk, if you have to, but do not fall.
Jikar couldn't stop his hands from shaking. Every glance backward showed the same dark line, closer now, as relentless as a tide. Sergeant Isaac Thorne led his team forward with a gait that belonged to a morning stroll, not a hunt.
Mills, hydrate. Check vitals without stopping. We're not here to suffer. We're here to last.
Private Mills pressed 2 fingers to his own neck, counting under his breath, then nodded. Heart rate under 110.
Good. Keep that pace. 5 clicks an hour, no more. Sweat. Don't steam. We'll walk them into the ground before sunset tomorrow.
The skull paint on Thorne's jaw didn't crack. It had dried into a second skin that absorbed sweat and transformed it into a faint, chilled relief. He glanced down at the sand without breaking stride, reading the Visi tracks like a paragraph. Each footfall now shorter, toes dragging, the story of failing strength.
They're losing cohesion. One's starting to stumble. Another few hours, and the fast one will be carrying his partner in his mind.
The team chuckled. A low, knowing sound that carried no malice, only the unshakable confidence of apex persistence.
This is what we were born for. Not fast, just constant. Our ancestors chased antelope like this until the animals simply lay down.
He capped the canteen and strode on, leaving the Visi tracks to tell their own brittle story in the sand. Kirith dragged them onto bare rock, backtracking until their own prints became a confused spiral of nothing. A slim crevice opened in the rock wall. They pressed inside, one after the other, until darkness sealed them off.
Stone breaks thermals, and the wind pulls our scent past the opening. They can't read what the rock doesn't tell.
He doesn't believe it. Neither do I. But the dark feels safer than the open.
Silence stretched. Minutes piled into an hour. Then another. The cave felt almost peaceful. Then the light at the entrance snuffed. A human shape filled the gap. No weapon raised, no hurry, just stillness.
He didn't track us. He expected us here, as if he's already seen how this ends. Back. There's always a back way. Move.
They burst into the open, fleeing with no sense of direction. Hiding was now a myth. The only truth was the chase. Behind them, Thorne emerged from the cave, with the same unhurried stride, already walking before the dust of their escape had settled. Jikar stopped running. He turned, scanning the ground, and found a boulder just off the human's path.
One blade, one swing. Then Kirath will see we aren't prey.
He pressed against the stone, every muscle coiled. The human's steady steps grew louder. When the shadow crossed the rock, Jikar lunged, a full-body strike meant to gut. Thorne didn't flinch. He sidestepped like drifting smoke, and Jikar's blade carved empty air. Jikar crashed into the sand, weapons skittering away. The human didn't even break stride. He lay there, chest heaving, watching the boots walk past without a pause. No glance, no word.
He didn't even consider me a threat. I wasn't even worth a step.
Kirith grabbed his collar and hauled him upright. They stumbled away, Jikar's eyes hollow. Behind them, Thorne walked on. The ambush had been nothing more than a stray wind. Jikar's legs buckled, and he went down, sand spraying around him. He did not get up.
Kirith, leave me. I am only slowing you down. The shuttle isn't far. Go.
Get up, Jikar. We're not leaving anyone, but his legs are dead weight. Staying means the humans will have us both within the hour.
Kirith straightened, turned his back, and walked. Jikar's ragged voice followed him for a moment. Then silence. A green smudge appeared ahead. The oasis. Beneath those leaves, the shuttle hid, waiting.
Just keep the legs moving. The ship is right there.
Behind him, the human line had closed to half a kilometer. The sound of their boots was a steady drumbeat now.
Don't look back. Faster. The ship is the only exit from this.
But the oasis shimmered, a taunting mirage, and the sun revealed every desperate stumble as the humans closed the last stretch. Kireth crashed through the final reeds and fell to his knees. The shuttle sat intact, its hull cool in the shade. Then he saw the human, not behind him, but already here, sitting on a rock, cleaning a rifle.
Took you long enough. We were starting to think you'd gotten lost.
His mind refused to connect the words. The humans were never chasing. They were waiting.
Kireth's gaze darted to the shuttle, then back to the human. No rage, no threat, just patience. The truth crashed down. The shuttle wasn't rescue. It was the finish line they had been herded toward.
This was a cage from the start.
Thorn didn't deny it. He just nodded once, as if acknowledging an obvious sky. Kirath scrambled backward, turned and ran. Not toward the ship, into the desert. Anywhere but here. Behind him, Thorn stood, slung the rifle, and began to walk. The chase resumed, but the prey already knew the ending. Jikar lay where he had fallen, staring at the empty sky, certain the next shadow would be death. Instead, 2 human soldiers appeared through the heat haze. They didn't raise weapons. One knelt and offered a canteen. The water was cool, and it ran down his throat like a permission he didn't understand.
They're not killing me. They're hydrating me. What is this?
Another soldier gestured to a field radio on the ground, then pointed toward Kirath's shrinking silhouette on the horizon.
Kirath, stop. Listen to me. They aren't what we thought. Please, just stop running.
Far ahead, Kirath's communicator buzzed. He saw the sender code, Jikar, and tore it from his belt. It spun into the sand and fell silent.
He's not listening. He's too terrified to even hear the truth.
The soldier who had given him water simply nodded, as if this outcome had been drawn in the sand long before.
They never meant to kill us. This was always something else. Something that doesn't need a weapon.
The sun warped the sand into liquid glass, and Thorn's silhouette flickered like a broken transmission.
No, not a man. Bones. A walking skeleton with a rifle slung over its ribs, still coming. You are dead. You are already dead. Why won't you stop?
The skeleton didn't answer. It just kept walking, a steady metronome of bone against sand. Kirath's feet slipped on a dune, and he crashed down, sand filling his mouth. The footsteps behind didn't quicken.
He's not chasing me. He's not even angry. He's just concluding me.
His legs pushed him upright by instinct, not will. The body refused to quit, even as the mind begged for it.
Speed was never the answer. They don't catch you. They just wait until there's nothing left to run with.
Each step was a betrayal of his own dying muscles. Yet he stumbled forward, the end not a location, but a moment.
I understand now, but I still can't stop. Not yet. Not yet.
A voice cut through the pulsing haze, closer than the skeleton had any right to be.
You can stop whenever you are ready.
Stop? I'll never stop. You want me to just lie down and let you?
His ankle twisted on a buried rock. The scream died in his throat as he pitched forward into the sand. Thorn didn't close the distance. He stopped walking and simply stood there, a patient silhouette in the shimmer.
He's not coming to finish me. He's just giving me room to fall.
It's your race. You decide when it's over.
Kirath lay in the sand, every muscle begging for rest. The choice was no longer about escape. It was about surrender.
If I stop, he wins. If I keep moving, I win nothing but more pain.
Thorn waited, patient as a mountain. The chase had become a vigil, and the next move belonged to the prey. Kirath shoved against the sand, arms quaking like struts about to buckle. He made it halfway up before his legs collapsed and he lay gasping.
There's nothing left. Not pride, not strength, just the animal want for it to stop.
Thorn closed the last distance and knelt in the sand, the skull paint cracking as he smiled. The rifle stayed on his back.
If you are going to kill me, just do it. I am not giving you the satisfaction of surrender.
You can stop whenever you are ready. That's the only ending here.
He set the canteen in the sand between them, the metal wet with condensation that smelled like a lie.
It's water. That's all.
Kireth's hand shook so badly. He missed the container twice before his fingers found the cool surface. He brought the rim to his lips and drank. The water hit his throat, and he sobbed. The first sound he'd made that wasn't panic.
I stopped running, and the only thing that died was the fear itself.
Thorn helped Kireth to his feet, then gestured toward the shimmering horizon where the other Visi were being walked inward. Jikar and the other survivors stumbled into view, supported by humans who looked more like shepherds than soldiers. They gathered in a shallow bowl of sand. The humans formed a rough circle, offering canteens around. Visi and humans sat together, the rifles laid aside. The only sound, the soft flow of water between beings.
Why? Why didn't you just shoot us at the outpost?
Chasing you was never about killing.
Then, what was it about? My legs are destroyed and I still don't know.
Thorn simply waited, letting the silence stretch until the question felt like its own answer. Jikar, sitting nearby, stared at his own hands, understanding flickering but not yet whole. The sun dipped lower, painting the circle in orange light. No one moved. The lesson was not a speech. It was a place they had all arrived at.
Tell me what you felt, Kireth. Not what you thought. What you felt in your body.
Karath hesitated, the memory of the chase still raw beneath his ribs.
Dread, not of being caught, but of something worse. That no matter how fast we ran, you'd be there. Always.
Go on.
And the silence. Your footsteps never changed. We sprinted, you walked, and the sound never faded. It was like being erased by a tide.
Thorn looked at the darkening sky, as if seeing an old memory.
That feeling, the unshakable pursuit, the slow certainty, that's what every antelope, every gazelle on Earth felt for 2 million years.
Kireth's breath caught. The circle of Visi stared, fixed.
He's not just describing a hunt, he's describing what we are now.
The words hung in the air, and for the first time, the Visi saw the skull paint not as a mask, but as a truth.
Our ancestors couldn't outrun anything, so they turned a weakness into a strategy. They walked.
He drew a simple line, hunter and prey, equal at the start, and marked the predator's steady stride.
The prey sprinted, rested, sprinted. The hunter just kept walking. Sweat cooled, efficient, relentless.
A flash of ancient plains. A human striding behind a collapsing antelope, its muscles seized.
After hours, the prey's muscles seized. Its organs began to cook. It lay down. The hunter arrived, not with a blow, but with a walk. We never needed speed because we had time, and we never stop. That's what chased you. 2 million years of unsprinting patience.
2 million years, and we thought it was a slow pursuit.
You were never prey, Karath. You were a lesson. This world is a lesson. We needed you to understand before your people made a bigger mistake.
Kirath's legs trembled, but now with awe, not fear. The Visi looked at each other, the lessons settling like dust.
We don't sprint. We simply never stop coming.
What happens to us now? We're your prisoners, your prize.
Prisoners. Number. You are messengers. You'll be returned to your people with a warning that can't be ignored.
Not a prize, a witness. The shame of being broken becomes the weight of my words.
Tell them this. Human worlds are not for raiding. If your people come again, we will walk, and we will not stop.
We'll carry it after what we felt, after what you showed us. The galaxy needs to know.
Thorn extended a hand, not to bind but to lift. Kireth took it, and his legs, though wrecked, held a new kind of strength. One by one, the Visi rose, their exhaustion no longer a defeat but a credential. They would speak with the voice of the hunted.
Then we'll walk with you. Show us the pace that cannot be outrun.
Thorn didn't answer with words. He simply began to walk, and the Visi followed, their footsteps falling into a single, unstoppable rhythm. The desert that had been a cage became a road, and on it, the messengers of inevitability began their long journey home. The column moved through the cool dawn, the outpost still a smudge on the horizon, but the road underfoot felt different now. Purposeful. Kirath walked beside Thorn, no rope, no guard, just the steady rhythm of two creatures who had run the same race.
How do you live like this? Always walking, never hurrying, yet arriving at every end.
We don't see it as walking.
The words hung in the dry air. A door left ajar.
We see it as arriving.
Not a journey to endure. A destination already known.
The Visi collectively inhaled, the philosophy as tangible as the sand underfoot. The march became a meditation. For the first time, Kirath's legs didn't protest. They simply carried him towards something already accepted. Ahead, the outpost walls caught the morning light, but the Visi no longer saw a cage, only a threshold. They passed through the outpost gate, the heavy metal yawning open to receive them. Canteens and ration packs were pressed into Visi hands with quiet, efficient mercy. A Visi shuttle, patched and fueled, sat on the pad like a question about to be answered.
Will you hunt my entire species now?
Only if you make us.
The reply wasn't a threat. It was a boundary drawn in sand and starlight. Kirath bowed his head once, then led his people aboard without looking back. The shuttle rose on a column of dust, and the humans stood motionless, watching it climb. Through the viewport, Kirath fixed his eyes on the skull-painted figure until it was a speck. Then, the outpost gate slid shut, and the desert was silent again. Years later, in the grand assembly of Vis, an elder stepped onto the speaking stone, and silence fell. He raised a tablet, the testimony of Commander Kirath, still flecked with desert sand fused to the casing. Then the recording played, Kirath's voice raw but steady. The humans did not run. They walked. They never stop. They are not fast, but they are inevitable. Do not run from humans. You'll only die tired. The assembly hall remained silent for 3 full breaths, the warning settling like the sand of that distant world. A young Visi messenger in the front row shuddered and whispered the words back to himself. The elder tapped the stone for order, then projected an image, a human soldier, skull-painted, patient, walking. He spoke of persistence hunting, of cooling glands and relentless patience, until every Visi understood the true face of their opponent. By nightfall, the phrase had spread beyond the hall, whispered through the cities and the fleets, and the warning became a truth no Visi would forget. In the humans' silent march, the only thing that died was the hope of escape. On a nameless world under an alien star, a human boot pressed into soil that had never known a human footprint. The dust rose in a slow puff, settling back, as if the planet itself was holding its breath. No sprint, no roar of engines, just a single step, and then another. The tracks behind told the old story, the erratic, panicked prints of those who had fled, already fading into dust, but the human stride remained, a straight, unhurried line that disappeared over the horizon. Somewhere ahead, a new prey paused, ears pricked, unaware of what had just arrived on its world. The boot came down again. The rhythm was ancient, unchanged, absolute. The galaxy had been warned, but warnings fade. So the humans walked on. They don't sprint. They simply never stop coming. The boot pressed down, and the new world fell quiet.